What's going on? It's Alfie from masterthemixing.com. Today I'm going to be talking about signal flow. It's just one of those sort of fundamental things really that pays its dividends later down the line. Uh Dividends, you know. Yeah, it's one of those just core concepts that when you have the knowledge of it and you're going forward with your mixing, it can help out. So I'm not gonna jabber for too long, I'm not gonna jibby jab, gonna get straight into it. So signal flow, what is signal flow? Alright, well, basically all of your sounds and recordings, they work a certain way. I'm just gonna focus mainly on digital, and less so actual recordings. So by digital I mean like things that are already recorded, like samples and stuff like that. So for example, your snare, yeah. Here's how the signal flow works. You've got the recorded sample here. Yeah, that's a pre-recorded sample. Yeah. When you play that, that signal source goes into your channel strip rack or your track rack, right? It passes through all of your inserts, all of your audio effects, goes back into the signal, and then carries on to where it's routed. So in this example, I've got it routed just straight to the stereo output master bus. But there's a lot of different sort of places in between that you can take it to and all of that, but I'll get into that in just a second. So the reason why this is important to know is, for example, if I've got this playing, then the order of inserts that I add to this chain, because remember, it's going from the recorded sample into the track in order and then passing through out to the stereo output track. So if I put an EQ and then I put a bit crusher distortion, the signal is going to equalize first, and then it's going to apply the distortion. And then once all of that's been done to the signal, it's going to carry on through straight to the stereo output and come out from the master output here. Right, so that's EQing first and then distorting it. So as you can see, that's very, very ugly. If I'm to switch it around, you might hear a difference. Right, so you don't hear much of a difference with these plugins, but if you was to do, for example, gross beat and then EQ, or EQ and then gross beat, you might have two different outcomes. And signal flow is one of those things where there's a lot like it links into gain staging and stuff like that, but you just want to keep in mind the very, very basic fundamentals is that it's going to go through in order, and it's going to come out where you send it, where you route it to. What a send is that it's an identical copy of the signal. So if I do a send and make another bus and then bring that up to 0, that is actually sending the exact same clap signal over here. Right, so if you see, so the order of the send is still, everything's in order. That's why it's in this order. The signal will go through the bit crusher, through the channel EQ, and then that signal will be completely duplicated and copied and then sent over here to this bus that's been created with this send. So always keep that in mind. That's why when you're using reverbs and delays and stuff like that, you tend to want to send a copied signal over, a copied single raw. I literally just cussed myself for making a mistake, and then I'll go and make it again. Anyway, yeah, you send a duplicate signal over here once it's passed through all of this. So again, if I'm to take this off again, it's just a normal snare now. So the order is very important. You always want to keep the order of the flow and the actual just flow concept in mind. Because what this isn't changing the actual input volume of the signal. This is amplifying it or de-amplifying it, if de-amplifying it is even a word. Right, but moving on with the assumption that this is actually altering the signal after it's come in. Right, so then that's how sort of gain staging starts to come into play, because it's like, all right, well, how loud is the actual signal of the snare in the first place? And gain staging is kind of, well, I'm going to go into that in the next video anyway. But yeah, so this has just been a very, 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 very general overview of the signal flow. Always keep it in mind that everything that you're producing, it's got a signal flow. It comes from whatever is here. So we've got audio samples here. It could be a sampler track. It could be like MIDI, which MIDI is also just audio samples, or played from a VST that controls. So the sources most of the time in digital production going to be from audio samples, or it's going to be from VSTs, which is virtual instrument stuff like Omnisphere and Nexus. Those are going to be the sources. So there's going to be the source volumes, and there's going to be the sample volumes, and then there's going to be the signal flow that's affected with the chains. There's going to be where they end up, and so on and so forth. So hopefully this has helped. You're going to want to check out our beat mixing secrets course at masterthemixing.com/BM secrets. The link will be in the description as well. It's a great course. So make sure you check that out and download it today. And stay tuned for the next video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what topics you'd like to be discussed next. Yeah, take care.